Hey, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jesse.
Thanks for joining us on Tesla Time News.
Bite-sized.
Brought to you this week by our friends at the solar-powered hotels in Schaumburg, Illinois, the Fairfield Inn and Suites by Marriott, and the Town Place Suite Hotel right next door. They're both connected, they're both solar-powered, and they've both got EV charging.
So enjoy this episode of Tesla Time News Bite-sized. Again, this is the shorter show. Comes out every Tuesday, which is a shorter version of Tesla Time News, which comes out on Monday. So enjoy it.
Plaid beats Taycan.
I think you mean Taycan.
I can never get the name right.
You read it, you look at it with your eyes.
Yeah.
And it says, Taycan. But the German in me says, Taycan.
But you never say Porsche.
Yeah, I've drawn the line there. I will say Porsche. Sorry, but, for all the people who get so worked up about it, it's like,
So here's the thing. When you're driving around Nürburgring, you can't get an official time unless you're part of an official race. And the Tesla Plaid car was not part of an official race. But Tesla did tweet this out. Data from our track tests indicates that the Model S Plaid can achieve 720 at the Nürburgring. With some improvements, 705 may be possible when Model S returns next month. So how does this time play with the Taycan time?
It's 22 seconds faster. 22 seconds faster. The Taycan got a time of 7:42 for a lap a couple weeks ago. So again, it's not the official time, and this isn't a production model, but neither was the Taycan. The Taycan had plenty of modifications on it as well. But again, this isn't a Tesla that you can supposedly go out and buy today. This is the Plaid version, which should be coming out. But I think that the crazy thing here is that in Tesla's tweet, they said that they should be able to improve it to 705.
Yeah, I want to give a list here of what some times have been at Nürburgring from different cars, so you can get a kind of a context here. If they can come in at 705, that's going to put them near the top 10 list of all-time cars, not just production cars, but that might actually scoot them onto the list of even like
experimental race cars and stuff that you can't buy, which is crazy. And I don't know how they got 22 seconds faster than the Taycan. I really, honestly don't know how they did that. And then to say that they're going to shave another 15 seconds off of that time, to me, is what? How could you possibly do that? Maybe they're going to put the rocket motors in the car. I think that may be the only way you could do it.
I don't know. I mean, Tesla already tweeted this out, this story about the Model S beating the Taycan. And Elon then responded, "It's a start. We expect these track times to be beaten by the actual production 7-seat Model S Plaid variant that goes into production around October, November of next year." So first of all, we got a time now. So if you're waiting for your Plaid, you're going to be waiting for over a year.
Right.
And we now hear that it's a 7-seat variant, and it's going to do, it sounds like, even better.
Right. I don't know how. That's the thing. I don't know how. I wish I could be like, well, they're going to improve the tires and they're going to add, they already added a third motor to a regular Model S to make this Plaid version,
right?
Which I'm assuming is just like a straight copy paste from the Roadster. That's what I must imagine.
While we're having fun with the story, let's just have more fun. I mean, here's the Tesla tweet. "We installed a supercharger at Nürburgring. Makes it feel like home,
Now this. Okay, now let's talk about the impact, because we haven't even talked about the impact that this must have for Porsche, because Nürburgring is in Germany.
Yeah, it's their backyard.
It's this is the German racing arena. This is the place that German automotive companies have been coming here for years to be like, look at the amazing stats of our motor cars.
Can I just say how dumb it was for Porsche to play this game? They walked right into Elon's trap. Elon laid a trap for them, and they walked right into it.
Right.
What were they thinking?
Well, I think that Elon knew what they were thinking. This is, it's by the book.
He knew what they knew, what he knew, what they knew?
No, it's pretty obvious. Porsche comes out with a new car and it's electric, and Tesla exists, so therefore they must be like, oh, it's going to be Tesla killer. And how are they going to prove it? What things, since it can't beat it in a straight line, the Porsche Taycan can't beat a performance Model S in a straight line.
Right.
What do? You take it to the track. That's the one thing that the Porsche has always had an advantage over, because the Porsche is a lighter car than a Model S. So I think that they were thinking, okay, we know what the performance Model S can do. the Taycan should, on paper, do better. So therefore, we're good, and that'll be our one thing. Like, sure, the regular Model S.
Elon sprung the trap.
It's a trap.
And then Viv said, I guess new Roadster will easily beat the all-time record of 644. And Elon said,
absolutely.
it's just nothing but fun.
It's super fun to be excited about this sort of thing.
So this is cool news. So we all knew that Rivian had a huge investment from Amazon of $700 million, but now Amazon just released that they're going to be making 100,000 electric vehicles for Amazon.
And not just vehicles like the pickup truck. No. They're going to be making delivery vehicles. Specifically, this van, which just got unveiled, like the picture of it just got released the other day.
Yeah. So we did a little math here. I mean, obviously, these vehicles aren't going to be made in 1 year. They're going to be made between 2021 and 2024.
Right. And a lot of people, I think when you first hear this, are like, 100,000 trucks, that seems like a lot, but, it's probably nothing. Because a lot of times, I have to be honest, when companies are like, we're going to make an electric delivery truck, they usually make like 5.
Right.
And so you never see them, you'd never get to experience them, and it was just basically a little publicity stunt.
Yeah, let's put it in context. I mean, FedEx has about 85,000 trucks right now, and UPS has 123,000 vehicles. So making 100,000 is right in line with that.
Like, if you wanted to have a global fleet of delivery vans,
That's the number you make.
you'd want that number.
But let's go even further. Let's crunch some numbers here. UPS drives about 3 billion miles a year. So let's assume that Amazon drives a similar number.
Yeah.
So that would be 294 million gallons of diesel fuel used every year to power that fleet. And that would be 6.5 billion pounds of CO2 per year. And that would cost $876 million a year in diesel fuel. A lot of that goes away. In fact, all the CO2 goes away.
Right.
All the diesel goes away. And most of the money goes away when you're making that an electric fleet.
So, I mean, these...
Oh, and also all the maintenance goes away pretty much, too.
Right. So, I mean, it's a brilliant move by Amazon to, acquire Rivian. That was smart. And then to be like, and guess what? You're making our delivery trucks. This is smart. The way to deliver anything should be by electric delivery van. There's not really any better way to do it. I know that they thought about drones. If we're talking about energy and the environment and you still want to have Amazon, this is the way to do it.
Also, that van's really cool. I've been looking at it for a while, and I don't know why I think it's so cool. I guess because it's just so much bigger.
Yeah, the proportions are really weird. They're not. It's not the typical size of your delivery van. This is a lot bigger.
Yeah.
It's a lot longer.
Yeah, it's about 96 square feet, roughly.
I'm just saying, I want one.
What, to deliver stuff in?
No. To live in. I mean, look.
You want to live in a van down by the river?
I'm saying this isn't like your typical van down by the river scenario.
No.
You'd have electricity built in.
Yeah.
It's got a huge battery, I'm assuming. I'm assuming that it's going to have like a 150-mile battery.
I hope so,
I
yeah.
have no idea what it's going to be. Maybe it's going to be 200, 300 miles. Who knows?
Right.
At that size, and it's electric, and you could probably put a ton of solar on the roof.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's all I want, really, for housing.
Do you know what I want?
What?
I want one of these. We interviewed the CEO and president of Comodo the other day, as they've just released their very first production Comodo fun utility vehicle. Here's what he had to say. So fortunate to be with Mark Frohnmeyer. He's the CEO and founder of Comodo out there in Eugene, Oregon, and you are making some pretty exciting vehicles. We're big fans of them on this channel. Can you tell our viewers who may not be familiar with what you're doing, what it is you're doing in that cool factory there?
Sure thing, Zach, and thanks again for having me on the program. So Comodo is a company. We're building a super efficient three-wheeled electric vehicle called the Fun Utility Vehicle, the FUV. I started Comodo in 2007, actually almost exactly 12 years ago, with the mission to help catalyze the shift to sustainable transportation. And the basic idea is based on the disconnect between cars and how people actually use cars on a daily basis. We drive these 5 to 7 passenger things that can go hundreds of miles, but we typically drive them by ourselves or maybe with another person a few miles to go get a cup of coffee or go to work or go to school or go to the movies or go wherever. That disconnect in terms of the footprint of the vehicle creates just massive inefficiency. We cover our cities, about 40% of our cities are covered with asphalt to move cars around and park them, and yet we still face massive traffic congestion in almost every major metropolitan area. So the idea of Comodo is not so much to change your behavior pattern, but it's really about creating the right tool for the job for everyday travel. And so the vehicle, we spent actually about 8 years iterating towards this new platform of a vehicle. It's 3 wheels, 2 wheels in front, 1 wheel in back, dual motor electric drive in the front. You actually sit astride the battery, so it has a very low center of gravity, super fun ride. And yet, even though it's only a little larger than a touring motorcycle, it still fits 2 big guys comfortably. And that really is what differentiates it from other products on the market. It's a small form vehicle with a lot of space. And so our first vehicle is the Fun Utility Vehicle. It's focused on consumers, commuters, vacation rentals. But on that very same platform, we're building a delivery vehicle. We call it the Deliverator. So get rid of the second seat, and now you've got a bunch of storage in the back. And then a rapid response vehicle for emergency services, law enforcement, security, and so on.
Those are really exciting. I mean, all 3 are exciting. The Deliverator seems like it's going to be a huge hit with, Uber Eats and all those delivery services because, it can get around a city so easily and park so easily. The rapid responder, I mean, that's, I think, going to be a game changer for so many, campus police and first responders, like to be able to get in and out of traffic and get to the scene quickly. That's going to be amazing.
It was actually driving in New York City where we were able to really maneuver across town incredibly effectively. That gave us that notion of, well, hey, that's a market where we could actually save lives by getting first responders to accident sites more quickly for, ultimately everything from parking enforcement to mall security and so on.
Yeah, so that was Mark Frohnmeyer. He's the founder of the company. He thought it would take 6 months to make this. It ended up taking 12 years, but that's because it's really hard to do what he's doing.
Yeah.
And we're definitely going to get our hands on one of these to test it out because these look like fun.
Yes. Fun and utilitarian.
More fun than a van, I think.
It's a vehicle.
Yeah. So let's hand it over to Zach Diktakis, who is at the Daimler headquarters in Germany. Zach, you there?
Yes, I'm here. So today we've just learned that the long-reigning king of the automotive industry, the internal combustion engine, is finally going to be relinquishing its power, reluctantly. But even Daimler, who has been making engines since the beginning, who you may remember from earlier this year being forced to recall over 700,000 of their cars due to installing illegal software to evade emissions testing, and has charges against them for pushing down the advancement of lowering emissions technology just in general. Yes, that's the Daimler I'm talking about. Well, their development chief, Markus Schäfer, has reportedly said that currently they have no plans to be developing more internal combustion engines.
Oh, that's great.
That's really good news.
Well, it's okay news because he also has reportedly stated that they might continue developing pieces of stuff to improve their current engines. I have one of the spokespersons for the company. Could you speak to the recent claims that you're going to be stopping development on new internal combustion engines and focusing more of your development energies on making electric powertrains?
Yeah, so we don't need to develop new diesel engines because the one we have is so good right now that it's so clean right now. We put a little turbo on it and it's totally clean.
Could you talk about how you're going to be working on the electric cars?
Yeah, the electric cars, what we're going to do is just put the diesel motor in the car, and maybe we'll put the electric motor in there too.
Okay, but if you're talking about diesel engines, that's not a very clean.
No, now they're totally clean. So what we do now is we put a second turbocharger on them and a little bit of cylinder lining. So now they're 6% more efficient and totally clean.
6% more efficient. What does that even mean?
Yeah. So over the course of an entire year, you're using 6% less fuel, which is cleaner. Yeah. And
so 6% is totally clean.
Now it's totally clean.
Wouldn't working on electric cars make it 100% clean?
Well, there's no practical reason to go there necessarily because the diesels are totally clean now. And
well, what about when you had to earlier this year recall over 700,000 cars because you installed software to evade the testing?
Oh, yeah. Now what we did, we took them, we designed this new good engine, and now it's clean.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Yeah. We're going to send this back over to Zach and Jesse.
This time we mean it.
Okay.
it sounded so good to start, and then
Right.
it just kind of fizzled out.
Not
there.
very inspiring.
No. Thanks for joining us on Tesla Time News Bite Size, which comes out every Tuesday.
You can watch the full version of Tesla Time News somewhere here. There should be the video.